Hi there.
Hello.
How
Let's
you
see.
doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm doing great. Excited to be here with you today.
Yeah.
Have
Let's
you done a
see.
live before, Jessica?
No, I never have.
Okay. Do you want to turn your camera on? It's up to you.
Yeah. That'd be great. Let me
Okay.
see.
In the
Oh, there we
meantime,
go.
okay.
Did it work? Oh, that's my house. Hold on.
Yeah, okay.
I have never done this before. How do I flip it? Flip?
Yeah, there is a
Oh,
little.
there we go.
Okay, now turn it back on. There you go. Hi. There she
Hey, let me
is.
back up a little bit.
Okay.
Ah, there we go. There we go. Sorry, I'm not very good at technology.
Look at you doing your first live.
I
Hello. How are you?
I'm great. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. I just got back from a 7 day spiritual retreat in Wyoming, and I'm just high as a kite. It was,
I have family in Wyoming.
oh my God, it was beautiful. I was in Jackson. We went up to the Grand Teton Mountains. It was just magical.
Oh, yeah, I have family in Cheyenne and I go camping every summer there.
You
Yeah,
do.
yeah.
Wow. Well, hello from Chicago. Hi, we have some guests on. Hi, everybody. So, let's just jump to it. For those of you that are here for the first time, I am Mayra. I'm with Soul Science Hypnosis. I am a certified hypnotherapist, past life regression therapy. I also conduct QHHT, which is Dolores Cannon's method of past life. And Jessica, you found me here on TikTok, right?
Yeah, I found you through Rebecca. I follow Rebecca
Oh,
and
yes.
I
Okay.
saw her session and I was like, yeah, I need to try that.
All right. And so I want you to introduce yourself because you are such an inspiration. You are so talented. And so please just tell the community, everybody, about you.
Well, okay, I'm Jessica. I I'm an artist and I'm a writer. Um, I do what I call spirit art, which is I have the ability to see past lives for other people, and instead of writing it down or telling them in a conversation, I give them an artistic image of what I've seen of their past lives or their spirit guides. They can pick if they want to be introduced to their spirit guides or if they want to see an image of their past life. Um, and I also do other art, and I write historical fiction, and I'm getting into paranormal nonfiction. So I do a lot of things. I have to do a lot of things because I'm a quadriplegic, and that means I can't go out into the workforce. Other quadriplegics can, yes, they do, but I have other illnesses and stuff that keep me from doing outside work. So I do what I can here at home.
Yes, and if you don't follow Jessica, please do check out her TikTok page here. It's just so inspiring, actually, to see your technique and how talented you are. I can't even believe what you do by putting a pencil or a colored pen in your mouth. Right?
Yeah.
This is how you draw, and oh my gosh, just beautiful work. I can't. I mean, I could barely do scribbles with my hands, you know?
I was drawing before I could write, so
Wow. Wow.
yeah, I knew how to draw before I was doing the alphabet. So like it's been so long that I don't remember when I started drawing. So
Yeah. I was particularly excited to guide you, Jessica. Um, my first time actually doing a session on someone with your disability, right?
hmm
And, but you know what? It's like all of this is all the same, right?
Yeah, it
But
is.
I was excited too because of your gifts, how you channel your clients also want to know, and how you channel art through past lives. And I think that is
Mhm.
so incredible, and I was really excited because I knew I was able to guide you, and I wanted to see what you came up with, right? What is your interpretation of your past lives? And you were able to see two. So our session
Mhm.
was about a month ago, right? Maybe
Yeah,
3
it was
weeks ago.
September 8th.
Okay. So
Yeah, I
yeah.
remember it because it was the same day the Queen died.
Was it? Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
And I was not watching the news.
Yeah.
Okay. Um, so let's talk about your first life.
Okay.
Why don't you just I did share just a portion. I have another one that I'll be uploading tonight. I'll be sharing bits and pieces of your session, but yeah, let's where did you drop in? Let's talk about what was that first drop.
The first drop was not at all where I expected it would be because my most, I would say, prominent past life was the 19th century, so I was expecting something totally different. And I got dropped in what felt like a jungle, and but it was a very developed area of a jungle, and it was a marketplace. And I got dropped right, and I was looking right at a place where people could come and get water, sort of like a fountain, but it didn't look like what we would call fountains today. It was more like a place where you could just come and dip and get water, I guess. But it was, and I was seeing like women with painted faces. The interesting thing was they had painted their teeth, colored their teeth like this really dark color, and I could see a temple in the background.
Yes.
And I realized when you asked me to like look down and see my body or whatever, that I was extremely pregnant, like ready to pop pregnant, overdue pregnant, and I couldn't see my feet. And I remember thinking in that moment that I thought it was funny. Me now, I thought it was funny that I couldn't see my feet because I had never been pregnant before. Not to that
Right?
extent, right?
And let alone let me hit the pause button,
Right.
because I am curious, and I hope you don't mind me asking questions
I'm like,
about. Okay, so do you dream about seeing yourself walking and having the ability to walk and have access to your legs?
um, in regular dreams, no. If I have to get somewhere fast, I'm more of a floater. In regular dreams, just because I don't physically know what walking feels like, so I guess my dream brain doesn't know either. So the way I overcome that is, I guess, is floating. And nobody in my regular dreams seems to even notice that I'm floating around. Like,
Okay.
it's not even like a thing that's addressed in any of the dreams. And sometimes I will dream like I'm trying to stand up or I am standing up. But the more I become aware that I am dreaming, the more I sort of like fall down and become disabled again. So like if there's awareness that I'm dreaming, the floating and the attempt at standing doesn't work anymore. So the past life thing,
How was
regression,
that for you? Yes.
it was strange, just because I've never felt that before. Um, like feeling the weight on my heels and stuff, which is not at all what I do now because of the deformities in my feet. And I wasn't wearing shoes, so I was feeling the heat coming out of the earth because it was a really hot climate compared to
Okay.
where I live now. I'm in Ohio, so uh, a jungle compared to Ohio is very different.
Sure. Mhm.
Yeah, so trying to reconcile standing up, not only standing up but being overdue pregnant at the same time was a lot to take in, and it was hard to move past that to describe other stuff. I was trying to understand what was happening in my body at that time.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was a little disconcerting at first. I got used to it really fast though.
Yeah.
It's almost like I remembered how to stand, and I got used to it really, really fast. But in the first few moments, it was a little nerve wracking.
Okay. So, and yeah, you were, the guess is that you were underage to be as pregnant as you were, that you were underage, um,
Yeah,
overdue, let alone overdue.
right.
Big
I
baby in a small body, small young body.
Small body. I felt like I was like 14 or 15, somewhere in there. Like technically mature enough to be pregnant, but not really. Like the body is not ready for pregnancy at that age.
Yeah.
And I just felt overwhelmed and crowded and claustrophobic, and
Mm.
because most of my body mass was this pregnancy that I don't, looking back on the session, I'm almost wondering if it wasn't exactly a welcome thing to be facing motherhood at that age, but not saying anything about it because it's just what everybody did.
Yeah. Okay.
It was a little uncomfortable, is the word I would say. And I
Yes.
also felt pressure because I was the midwife was telling me that I should be going through birth and stuff. I should have already had the baby, but I hadn't. So I felt like I was doing something wrong.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And so the midwife was going to give you something to drink to get the labor going.
Right. We were in the market, wandering around looking for specific. I almost want to say it was a berry. I never actually saw what it was, but I knew what it was from talking about it with her. It was, I don't know if it was a berry or like a plant of some kind, but there's something that she was going to put in hot water and make me drink it. And it was supposed to start labor. And it was supposed to be her attempt at getting things moving.
Mm-hmm. All right. And so what happened?
Um, well, the next thing I knew, we moved forward a little bit, I think. And I was sort of squatting, I guess, and trying to have this baby, which in and itself was a very weird thing to watch. Um, I came out of the point of view at that point, probably
Yeah,
because it was
as
traumatic.
an
I don't
observer.
know. And
Mm-hmm.
so I was watching it happen, and the labor was not progressing, and the child was stuck and too large, and it just wasn't going to happen. And I'm pretty sure that's how I went. That's how I
Right.
died.
Yeah. Yeah. And so that life was a little shorter. So
Yeah.
when you knew that you were not making it through, then I moved you to another life. Mm-hmm.
That one was um a little bit later, I think, or I don't know exactly the
Completely
timeline.
different time. Yeah.
Yeah, it was a totally different culture. It was cold. It was um what I think it was England, based on what I was seeing, the scenery and the cold and everything, and the style of the. I was outside walking around in a garden, but I was not happy. I was just obsessively walking around this garden, thinking about how I'd been abandoned, and um, uh, but I don't think I ever used the word abandoned in my thoughts. I was just, where is he? What is going on? Why am I stuck here with these people I don't really know? And
Very religious people, as I recall.
yeah, they were
And you
really,
sort of had to pretend to be religious yourself.
yeah. That
Mhm.
part is a little foggy for me. Probably my my conscious brain's way of trying to protect me from some kind of trauma because that part's a little foggy for me, but I do recall some kind of religious thing happening there where it was not comfortable and I was pretending a lot to be like the people I was living with, but I really wasn't like them. I had other interests
Yeah.
and I was supposed to have my own family, but I didn't and they were gone. And I remember looking down to to see what I was wearing, and it was this like olive greenish, brownish kind of like I think heavy dress, and
Right.
I felt very restricted in it. And uh, now, as an educated person looking back on it, I can tell you that it was probably the 1500s, middle 1500s, based on what I was wearing. But
Wow.
at the time, I didn't know that. Like
Mm,
in the middle of the session, I'm not sitting there thinking, well, gee, I
right.
wonder what year it is.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. And yes, it was a very heavy, heavy garment.
Yeah, it was very, and there was a lot of
Layered.
layers to
Yes.
it.
Hmm.
Yeah, it was restrictive. Like I was tied into it, and um, and I just the only thing I could do was walk around the garden. Like there was really nowhere for me to go. I was in the middle of nowhere, and
Right.
it was very lonely and isolating, and I did not like the people I was with.
Right. Yeah. And I know you drew a picture of that garden and the walls.
Yeah,
It's almost like yeah, like you're trapped.
and I'm looking at the drawing today. I looked at it again today, and I was like, the door is so much more detailed than the rest of it. And I think I was focusing on that door because I wanted out so much.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah,
Yes. Hmm. How was the after the session? I know that it was a lot to take in, right? And there's
after
always processing.
yeah, there was a lot of processing. I had some unusual dreams for like 3 or 4 days afterward, and I had a burst of energy, which is very unusual for me because I have fibromyalgia. And anybody who has fibromyalgia knows that energy is at a premium.
Okay.
So, after the session, even my family was commenting that for a few days afterward, I wasn't taking my usual naps that I have to take because of my chronic illness. And uh, I had a procedure about 4 days after that, a medical procedure, and
Oh,
it went pretty well. It went fine, and um, so it was interesting that it had an effect on what I was doing afterward in the present time. I didn't expect that part.
right. Wow. Okay. So you said that you had some other dreams. Were you able to receive any more impressions of the past lives that you saw? Did you receive anything else? Because some that happens sometimes.
Yeah. If you remember, in the second lifetime when I was in the garden, I was thinking about this person that was absent, this man that was absent, and then I started feeling physical pain. I
Yes.
had a dream later that the pain happened from an earlier incident. Um, he had thrown me up against a stone wall, and it was an abusive relationship,
Hmm.
and I was still sore and in pain at the time when I was walking around the garden from the earlier incident of being thrown.
Wow.
So I was allowed to know that it was the abusive incident that was
Yes.
causing the pain.
So remind me about your last day of your life in that second life, because I always take you to your last day.
Um, the last day, it was I had the catalyst that caused my death was tumbling down the stairs, and stone stairs aren't a joke. A
Yeah.
lot of people even today will still die tumbling down the stairs. But in this case, I have a suspicion that I was either hit first and then stumbled down the stairs, or I got pushed down the stairs. I don't think it was
Right.
an accident.
Hmm.
I think I was gotten rid of, basically.
Okay. And I also brought forward your guidance. We did some healing in your
We
session as
did, yeah,
well. Yeah.
yeah,
I was called to channel for you. And whatever came out, please know how healing it is. You know, it's not a language that is understood by the 3D brain. You know, light language is understood on a cellular level, and so it's very, very powerful. But I was called to do that for you, um, and then we brought your guides in. Now, as
yeah,
I recall, we might have asked, because I didn't. It's been a month.
yeah.
Um, I'm pretty sure. Did I ask why you came into this body this lifetime with your disability? Did we touch on that?
Yeah, I think we did. When it got to the point of bringing in my guides, I almost want to say they were speaking through me. So I don't
Yes.
remember everything that was said. I would have to look back at the recording.
Yeah.
But my general impression of what was said was that my body is a physical protest of the waste
Yes.
of war and destruction of this planet and humanity. I'm supposed to be, in my impression, a physical reminder of the way resources could be used to help people who have severe medical problems. Like, we could be investing a lot of money in our science program to create better treatments, even cures for a lot of diseases and stuff like that. And so, for some reason, I chose to be a physical reminder of the
Wow.
way our species wastes resources on destruction. We should be using our resources on helping each other and being there for each other.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
That was
I mean, that's remarkable. Yes.
yeah.
Wow. That's incredible. Hmm. Has, after your session, have you received any more, do you feel a little bit more open, a little lighter? Do you feel some of your art has shifted a little bit? What has changed for you?
Um, yeah. With in particular with my art, when I'm working on a commission for someone, I used to be very concerned about historical accuracy, and because my brain can be very academic, and I have trouble letting go of details like that. And since the session, I'm much more open to allowing the entity or whatever is doing the guidance to say, do it like this, do it like that, or whatever. I seem to be more open to direction instead of me fighting for control and trying to make things as historically accurate as I can. And I found that if I trust the process a little more, that it's going to be accurate. I don't have to work so hard at doing research because whoever is doing the guiding at the time is going to make sure it turns out just fine.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
I think it's a little bit of learning to let go of control.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah,
Learning to let go, trusting, right?
yeah,
That's beautiful. Mm-hmm. That is
yeah.
beautiful.
It's made it a lot easier, actually.
Oh, good. Okay, let me see. Guys, if you have any questions at all for Jessica or myself, please feel free to ask away. Let me see what we have here. Frederick is saying that when he was in the Army, he was in Macedonia and it was very familiar. Yeah, and sometimes we can be somewhere, someplace, and it just feels like deja vu, right?
Yeah, um I was on a cruise a few years ago that went to like Belize and Honduras and Mexico. Um and I was in an area that had similar temples to what I was seeing in the session that I had. And I felt like I really had to go to that temple, but I could not afford the tourist package to go to that temple. And I
Yeah.
was so bummed about it. But I just, after the session, I went, oh, I bet that's why I really, really wanted to go see that temple and spend some time there. It probably because it was very familiar to me.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it was
Wow.
on the edge of the Aztec and Mayan Empire.
That's amazing. Wow. Yesterday, I conducted a session. And, this is not the first time this has happened, but it happens when some of my clients just they let go. They fully submerge themselves into the life. They become that person. And in doing so, their language and their voice changes. And I've had some really fun ones, where we can laugh about it, like Becoming Walter, which is here on my TikTok. So funny, where she becomes this guy with a very act with an accent, like very country accent, and he spoke from long ago, even words that we don't really use now, right?
Right.
But yesterday I had one, and from the moment she dropped in, she speaks perfect English, like you and I. From the moment she dropped in, I know what I heard was Ireland, and more of an Irish. And she blew me away. She just blew me away. Um, I mean, it got to the point where some of the sentences she was talking so fast that it was like, what the hell? I mean, I was just shocked. Um,
Hmm.
and I don't really know the I know Scotland and Ireland, so it can sound similar, and but it was after when I woke her up that she connected with Wales. She says it's Welsh. She could actually hear herself doing it, but wasn't bothered at all. It just sort of flowed out of her, and I was just so blown away that.
Heard of that happening.
Oh my gosh. Did you at all feel at some point, besides feeling that discomfort, because I know we had a little technical difficulty in your session with
Yeah.
sound, but and that you were feeling very delicate and in pain, your body, from the physical abuse. Please know, if you are listening to this, you are safe. You really are safe. some
Hmm.
some people do get sucked in, and even fear can kind of, if you're feeling something, that's something is about to happen, you're going to feel that fear. But as your guide, it's like, just relax, no discomfort, pull away. And you can pull away and become the observer, which is what you did at some
Yeah, I
point.
did that both times. The second time with the abuse and the discomfort, I had to be reminded to pull away from it. But with the childbirth and stuff, I pulled away on my own, and
Mm.
I guess something in me was like, nope, you don't need to feel that again. We're gonna pull you back from this. And I was watching it sort of kind of from above.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I tried something today, you know, and I'm always trying little things, but today I guided someone, and one of their lives they went into Egypt, and they were there in Egypt learning all about astrology when they knew nothing of it. This was just really watching how the stars move, how the planets move, and
Mm,
making note of it, and just doing it every day. And so they came with this formula, and this is what the guy did all his life, was to study the stars. And you know, he says the moon, that's kind of, they figured that out, how it's small and then grows and grows, but the planets were different, and they were very curious about that. But at one point I took him to a day, and apparently they were all gathered, and the king, or the pharaoh, was going to come out. And I thought, are you close? Can you kind of see him? And he says, no, I'm far. There's hundreds of people, and I'm far back, but everyone seemed very excited. So I just said, well, just pull yourself out, and I want you to fly. I said, I want you to just fly right up to that pharaoh. You can do that. Just get out and fly right to him, and I want you to describe him to me. Tell me, what does he look like? Oh my
mm,
God, it worked. So it worked, and it's like, of course it works, right? And
yeah,
um, even the headpiece, the gold, the white, the jewelry, his age, everything. He's like, oh yeah, wow, he's wearing this and that and this and that, and he's got a staff. He was holding a staff, and he was very loved. So when you are exploring a past life, it's like you can see through the eyes of who you are. And then yes, you can be as third person, and you can just astral travel. You can travel. You are
right,
an energy, and you can go over there and go over there, and your body is still back there, right?
right.
So I just find that so cool.
Yeah, I'm pretty used to that because I float in my regular dreams, so I probably would be very easily able to do it that way too in a session or astral travel or whatever. Yeah, I could see how that would work very well.
Yes, yes. Hi, Carly. Carly is on here. I did a session on both Carly and her husband, kind of back to back. I think Carly went first, and then her husband was the next day. And I recall that your microphones were not great, um, but they were so good. I remember how good they are. And Carly says my reading was about 6 months ago, and I can remember every detail of it. So that is wonderful.
I
I'm
don't remember every detail, but I think I was at some point I was pretty deep into hypnosis. Like I was not aware of much. So some of it I don't remember. But
right.
I've heard that can happen.
Yeah, yeah. And some people, when you're super deep, you come out, and of course, as time goes, it kind of goes further and further back. But the nice part is having your recording too, right?
Mhm.
And that you can listen to at any time. Hi, Yankee Amy. You can click the link on my TikTok, and that'll take you to all of my platforms that you can explore. Okay. Thank you for asking. Um, Carly is now adding, but now what had come to me so strong is Gibraltar. I want to go so bad. So, yeah, so perhaps that has something to do with it. Here she is 6 months later,
Right.
feeling a location, a place that I really want to
Mhm.
go there. So that's pretty cool. Where do you think you were,
Um,
especially in that first one?
the first one, um, well, what I did after it was over, I went and did a Google search for large Aztec market towns just to see what would happen because the market really was the focus of the place. And apparently there was a sister city to what is now Mexico City. I cannot speak the language of the Aztec people, and Aztec is not even what they like to call themselves. I just can't speak the language anymore. But there's a sister city next to Mexico City that was there. It's now just all um, it's now just all Mexico City. But there was the market town that at
At the
one point
pyramid.
had something like 30,000 people every day coming in and out of this market. And um, I saw paintings of it, and I was like, that was it. That's the place. Even had the two temples in the background right next to each other, and
Yeah.
it had all of the people out with their produce and their cloth, and I even found the same cloth that my mother at the time was selling, and like the exact pattern I found on antique art from that time. So
Wow.
I'm pretty sure it was an old place that was a sister city to what is now Mexico City, in the first
The
one.
pyramid, yeah, the pyramid that you drew, that you sketched out, is very specific. I've seen pictures of pyramids that look like that, because that's more of an Aztec looking pyramid, in my opinion. Yeah.
I think it was too. And after I drew it, I went and looked up Aztec temples, and it looks like what I drew. I mean,
Yes.
I was simply sketching, so the details weren't exactly there, but it was, yeah, the same thing, I think.
Good, good. Okay. Let's see. Oh, Frederick is saying that when he went to Paris, it was a totally different, he felt like he had been there before. Yes. Yes, very cool. Can you control your body in a past life, or are you more of a passenger, so to speak? You can control your body
Can
because,
control.
um, yeah, you
But
move and walk.
when the story's happening, I say story, just I don't know another word to use. But when the story's happening, you kind of let go and let the story happen. But like, if you want to see what color your skin is, you can lift up your hand and look at it. Or,
Yeah,
you know, like when I wanted to see what I was wearing, all I had to do was look down to see what I was wearing.
that's
So
right.
at times, yes, you can control what you're doing, and at times the story has to take control of what's happening.
Right. That's right. Okay. Hope that answers your question. Um, Carly, we went to Portugal this summer and a lot of memories came out of that. So, very interesting. Thank you, Carly. Um, let's see. But also, when I went to Korea, there were also some places that seemed like home. That's Frederick. Yeah, that is when you're traveling, things can just, yeah, like I said, it can feel like deja vu. You feel like you're home, or sometimes you've never visited, but you feel very drawn to a particular place that it's in your bucket list, right?
Yeah. hmm I went to Maine and I had that experience. It was I knew exactly where I was going and what I was doing, and my friends were like, "I thought you said you haven't been here before," and I was like, "I haven't," and but I knew where I was going, and so it
Isn't
happened.
that cool?
Your subconscious knows where you are and all the time.
Yeah. Wow. Are you comfortable right now, Jessica? I
Yeah,
just want to touch on, you are comfortable.
yeah.
Um, where do you see yourself with your art? What is your goal with all of your talents? Where do you see
Uh,
yourself 5 years from now, 10 years from now?
5, 10 years from now. Well,
Yes.
I would very much like to continue doing past life commissions and spirit guide commissions. Um, I would like to expand my site. I call it site. A lot of people have different words for it, but I'd like to be able to expand my site beyond what we're told is real. In other words, I've had some customers come to me and say, I don't think my spirit guide came from this planet, but I have trouble seeing that because I guess I have blinders on. Um, because this you hear all the time, that's not real, that's not real. Well, I want to be able to lose the blinders, so
Yeah.
I want to be able to do that. And in a non-spiritual sense, with my art, I would very much like to develop a line of stationery, like bookmarks and paper and notebooks and stuff like that. I'm a big notebook junkie, so I would like to develop stationery.
I love notebooks. I just collect them for my work. I'm always
Yeah,
taking notes. Yeah. So I'm always buy 2 to 3 at a time. I love them.
yeah, I love notebooks. I have so many notebooks that haven't been used yet, and I keep buying more.
Yes.
I love stationery stuff and bookmarks and all that stuff. And so, yeah, I have goals like that. We'll see if I get there.
That's wonderful. That is good. Well, unless you have anything else or if anyone else has any more questions, I
Yeah,
think you may have questions on your end. I'm not sure if you can look or if you have if I don't know if someone's there with you that can help you. I'm not sure.
well, I've been paying attention to the chat and I haven't seen too many questions.
Okay.
Let me see. Um,
Thank you, Lilac Flowers. I appreciate that. Thank you, Chandler, for the roses. Thank you. Thank you. A country wife mom. Thank you. I love you guys too. I love you guys. Thank you so much for supporting our live and just popping in to say hello. And, we hope that you just learn along the way.
do you have a fear for what's happening in the world now? Me personally, um, I've done a lot of tarot readings and a lot of meditation on what's happening in the world. I've been doing it for a few years. I started really trying to find out what's happening when when Trump got elected. Why is this happening? Stuff like that. I'm not really nervous for the end game because from what I've seen and heard from the other side is that there is a purpose to all of this. This planet is in a huge period of transition right now, and this is a big make it or break it time for us as a species.
Yeah.
And we have a lot of help that people can't see. There is a lot of help um, from the other side, I guess you would say. I don't use a lot of the buzzwords that people use, like Kevin and stuff, but we do have a lot of help from the other
We
side.
do.
And I do think in the end, we are going to come out a lot better, but it's going to be difficult at first.
Mm,
I think for the next probably 10 years, things are going to be pretty rocky, and you're going to want to develop skills like making your own food, growing your own food. It's not going to be apocalyptic. I don't think that's what's going to happen, but I
mm,
do think that we are going to have to become more self-reliant as a species. And
yeah.
in the end, I think it's going to be fine. I'm not terribly worried that we're going to blow ourselves up or anything, but I do think it's going to be difficult for a while. And it's sort of like going through growing pains. Like our species is going through puberty and doesn't quite know what's happening, and we don't quite know what we're going to be yet as a species. So
Right.
hopefully we get to the right place quicker rather than later, but I think eventually we will get to the right place.
Yeah. Connie says, good luck, everyone. LOL.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
So,
learned how to make bread during the pandemic like everybody else. So,
yeah. Yeah. There's going to be another wave of COVID in the
yeah.
winter. So there's a total of 10. There were a total of 10. So buckle up. It's going to come back. And just take care of yourselves out there. And, it's just, it's going to continue changing. And that's it. It's kind of like having a cold now, the flu. It's really transmuted into
Mhm.
something very different,
I
but we will see another wave.
I had COVID. Um, I had COVID between Thanksgiving and Christmas, and
Yeah.
it it really attacked whatever it is. So I have fibromyalgia, and they don't really know what that is. They don't know what causes it. They just know it's neurological. Well, the COVID in me really attacked whatever upsets my fibromyalgia stuff. I was in the worst pain of my entire life with
Mm,
COVID, but I didn't really have a cough. I mean, I had a little bit of a cough. It was like a light cold. What made COVID unbearable for me was it was like it attacked whatever is broken that causes fibromyalgia in me. So I expect people with chronic illnesses are going to have much more wide varying experiences with the new waves of COVID. That's
yes.
that's what's going to happen.
Right. Right. Yeah. Wow. Well, thank you so much, Jessica. And
No
thank
problem.
you, everybody, for popping in and just spending some time here with us. We really appreciate it. And I'm going to be sharing some more of Jessica's story. Thank
Yep.
you, Jessica, for allowing me to show your beautiful face.
No
That's
problem.
the beauty of creators. They're like, yeah, go ahead, put my
Have
face out
fun.
there. Go ahead. It's all good. So thank you. Yes, people love to actually see who's behind that voice. I know. Um, yeah, they
I
love
understand.
that. Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yes. So thank
Well,
you
thanks
so
for having
much.
me.
Thank you. I'm a big fan.
Oh,
And
thanks. I'm a fan of yours.
and I love, love, love to watch your drawings, and your art is so beautiful. So thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank
All right,
you.
everybody. Okay, everyone. Thank you and good night.
Good night.
Bye.